Here's the final four right here. Yeah, like I said before, I may not like all of them. I may not hate the movies, but there are a couple on this list I definitely hate. You're gonna enjoy my rant on probably number one. Number four on my list is Harry Potter, the first one. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Yeah, the Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I enjoyed the books, and I think that's why I'm so disappointed, because I was such a big fan of the books that when the movies came out, I was like, oh, I was really excited. I saw the trailer for it at Comic-Con in San Diego in 2001. And so I was excited. Oh, this looks like fun. It looks like it's going to be a good movie. Definitely going to try and bring the stuff to life that we only have in our imaginations. And without realizing, maybe it should have just stayed in the imagination. They took some of the stuff and they tried to, dumb down Harry in a sense. He's not the smartest kid, but they make him a dunce in this movie. Hermione does everything. She is the smart one, but she does have her weaknesses, and they don't do anything with Ron and Harry. They're just along for the ride. The only time they actually show it was when Ron did the sacrifice play in the chessboard. That was it. But I think that because I was such a big fan of the book, I didn't enjoy the movie as much as I believe I would have. But like the ending, they should have had in the book they describe him as he's touching Quirrell, who's possessed by Voldemort, and it's like as a feedback, and he's knocked out from the contact, but he ends up killing Quirrell. Well, in the movie, he turns to stone, and then like this mist of ghostly thing attacks Harry, and it's like, what? Why? I don't know. Could have been a lot better, I thought. I don't want it to be like directly from the book, but I think that you need to have a lot more of the character development from the book into the movie. But I think that's why I was so disappointed, because I was such a fan of the book, and I've said it twice already. But I do enjoy the books. Read the books. If you have not read the books, watch the movies. You probably enjoy them. They're probably really good if you don't. I was so disappointed by the first movie. I told myself I was never going to watch any of the other Harry Potter movies, and I haven't. I've stuck by that all these years. It's been 13 years, almost 13 years, since the first movie came out, and I have not watched any of the other movies. Moving on. Number 3 on my list is Spider-Man 3. Now, I did not watch Spider-Man 2, so I cannot make any judgments about it. I did watch number 1 and number 3, and I have to say, number 3 was really bad. I couldn't stand some of the stuff in the movie. It's like they decided, alright, this is going to be the last one, and they just threw everything they had in this one. They try to do so much, and I think that's the biggest problem. They try to do so much, and it just backfired on them. It wasn't focused. It wasn't like you had a main story and 1 or 2 subplots. You had like 4 main stories and 6 different subplots, and like, no, it's too unfocused. You're trying to do too much. The 3 villain thing, you can do it. It can be done, but you have to be able to do it right. And it wasn't done right. It was completely unfocused. The symbiote, they didn't even need to explain all that much about it coming to Earth. It just crash landed, and I did like that. But I was kind of hoping, since I enjoyed the Spider-Man cartoon from the 90s, I thought they were going to do something like the dream sequence where the Spider-Man suit and the Venom symbiote battle each other, and then the symbiote kind of swallows Peter. That would have been cool, but it didn't happen like that. Not to mention the symbiote. How do I put this gently? It doesn't make you dance. It doesn't make you dance. It makes you angry. It makes you aggressive. You do things you wouldn't do otherwise. It doesn't make you dance. What were they thinking doing that? It doesn't make you dance. The scene where... There are two scenes where I was like, alright, that's the symbiote right there. That's the symbiote. One, where he fights Sandman in the tunnels, and he's pushing him into the trains, and he tries to kill him by pouring water on him, thinking he would drown him or like just turn him to mud, and he would die that way. I thought that's the symbiote. That's what I was thinking. The other scene where he fights Harry Osborn, and the two of them are just going at it. And well, the best part about that fight was it wasn't Spider-Man versus Green Goblin. It was Peter Parker versus Harry Osborn. Their hatred for each other was boiling over. It was the destruction of their friendship, and they were just beating the crap out of each other. And then Peter throws he takes one of the Goblin bombs that Harry throws at him and throws it right back at him, blowing it up right in his face. That to me was cool. That's more of the symbiote. He doesn't make you freaking dance. And not to mention they brought in Gwen Stacy, who was meaningless in this story. She's a lot better in Amazing Spider-Man, thank God. And so that's what I think about that. The other thing at the end with the symbiote, he's Eddie Brock with a symbiote on him. You don't need to keep showing his face. We know Eddie Brock's there. Show us the Venom. Show us Venom. We want to see Venom. Now you probably, because of all the rad thing, you probably thinking there's no good parts of the movie. There are. Like I said, the fight scene with Harry and Peter was good. Though they kind of screwed that up because they become friends again to help save Mary Jane. And that was... If Harry had said, I'm not helping you, I'm helping Mary Jane, that would have been more believable, and I would have enjoyed that more. But there is another really good scene I like, and it's with the Sandman. It's when he first gets turned into sand, when Flint Marko gets turned into sand, and you see the little bracelet that's there. And you see the sand hand come up, he grabs it, and he focuses on that and pulls himself together that way. That's one of the best scenes I've seen using CGI in any movie. That's a great scene. But unfortunately it's wasted in this movie. Not to mention Sandman didn't need to be part of the story with Uncle Ben being killed. Again, it's just like with Saw 3. They're trying to tie it into the first movie. You didn't need to. Flint Marko could have just been his own thing, his own person. You could have had him. He wanted to do a life of crime to help his daughter. That's fine. We didn't need too much about it. That was all the explanation we needed. But they try to do too much, and it ends up becoming a cluster, a complete cluster, and it doesn't work. Number 2 is Alien vs. Predator, the first one. Now, here's an interesting thing I've noticed, because I've had this discussion with friends of mine, is that if you're a fan of the Alien movies, you like the first one and don't like the second one. However, if you're a fan of the Predator movies, you don't like the first one and you like the second one, because the first movie is more an Alien type movie and the second one is more of a Predator style movie. And I like the second one more. And so the thing is, the Predators, I'm more of a fan of the Predator movies. The Predators in the first movie were these young, inexperienced, like they don't know what they're doing sort of predators. One gets taken out real easy. One gets into a fight and loses. They don't even have their shoulder cannons because in the movie the humans take them from where they're supposed to be. Yeah. Then they try to make the line, "You're one ugly mother," but this time they try and put it to an alien. it didn't work out. I mean, I think it could have been a lot better. Not to mention because they tried to make it more like PG-13, it didn't come off like an Alien movie or a Predator movie. It didn't have like that slasher movie style to it or an action movie style to it. To me, it didn't work. Some people like it. Not me. I prefer the second one. That's more of a Predator style movie. It's like an action movie, and with Predator style. That's the way I like it. So, my number one most disappointing movie is Batman and Robin. Oh God, where do I begin with this movie? Where do I begin with it? Oh God. Okay. Let's start with George Clooney. George Clooney pretending to be Batman. George Clooney as George Clooney pretending to be Batman. And George Clooney as George Clooney pretending to be Bruce Wayne. He didn't bother caring about the role enough to even try to be either Bruce Wayne or Batman. He was just George Clooney. I am George Clooney pretending to be Batman. I am George Clooney pretending to be Bruce Wayne. Ugh. People talk a lot of trash about both of the Joel Schumacher Batman movies. I actually like Batman Forever. I think Val Kilmer does a good Bruce Wayne and an okay Batman, but George Clooney just flat out sucked. Right? I think he may be a great actor. I never saw ER. I did see From Dusk Till Dawn. I thought it was pretty good in that movie, but he was ill-equipped to be Batman. And he even said he played him as a gay man, playing into the whole 60s Batman with Adam West and Robin with the little, green calzones that he's got on there. But yeah, it went for too much camp. They tried to do too much camping, and people like the Batman, the Burton movies more. And the first Schumacher movie did have some camp, but it also had a good amount of action to it. This one was just all camp, and it was almost like a comedy, and people didn't want that from the Batman movies. Not to mention, again, just like Spider-Man 3, they try to do so much. They introduced 3 villains. Then they tried to introduce Batgirl. Then you had all these, things going on with each of the characters, except Bane. Bane sucked! Bane sucked in this movie. That's why I like Batman Rises Bane so much. I mean, yeah, the voice is kind of dumb, and I will do the voice for another review, but this Bane was like, work, we good. I was like, are you Bane or are you Frankenstein, moron? But, yeah. I mean, not even a cat fight between Alicia Silverstone and Uma Thurman could save this movie. And Chris O'Donnell, he was decent in Batman Forever, but this movie, he went backwards. He was horrible in this one. It's like they went for every stupid, a cliche, and almost went with a gay stereotype too with Chris O'Donnell's performance as Robin. They took your characters, turned him to, sorry. Let me try that again. You took your characters and reduced them to one 90-minute long gay joke. It's like watching Batman and Robin again. Yeah. Again, they try to do too much. Not to mention Arnold Schwarzenegger. I think Arnold Schwarzenegger knew this was going to be a bad movie, so he just had fun with it. And he was like, cool party. Alright, everyone. Chill. He just threw every ice pun he could throw in there, and just, he really enjoyed, you could tell he's just enjoying himself. And speaking of Schwarzenegger, just like I said, there was something good about Spider-Man 3. There is something good in Batman and Robin. It's a scene where Victor Fries, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, thinks that his wife has been killed by Batman. And they did do a good little story arc and a little backstory of Victor Fries and his wife. She was, in a cryogenic state. He's trying to, find a cure for disease, and the scene where he thinks she's dead and that one tear just comes down and freezes is very good. Unfortunately, that's the only really good scene in this movie. Ugh, God. Yeah, those are my disappointing movies. tell me what you think of these movies. Did you actually like any of the movies I put on my top 12? What were your disappointing movies? What movies did you watch and after was like, oh man, that was not as good as I was hoping it would be? Let me know in the comments. So I'm gonna try and do more of these lists. I might do another. Probably the next video is probably going to be about E3, talk about what happened there, and my own personal thoughts of what happened. And I'll have more top 10s and other stuff like that coming in the future. So until then, I'm going to try to calm down from thinking about these movies. Later.